Kristin. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my mask. Yes, it is a mask today. I got started on my Craft Roulette card. It is for episode 274. Basically, if you haven't heard of Craft Roulette, I do strongly encourage you to check it out. That is their website. I'll make sure to link it below as well. But basically, they are a channel on YouTube that airs almost every Friday night, in which they spin a wheel, an actual wheel. We like to call him Mr. Wheel, and I like to think he has a little bit of an attitude sometimes. A good one, but careful. You know, sometimes he throws a humdinger your way just to challenge you. So his parameters that he landed on this week, because that's right, inanimate objects here at Craft Roulette have quite the personality. It is a thank you card for the project. Well, that's pretty easy. I could definitely use thank you cards. Colors were decorations. Okay. Had to think about that one for just a second, but you know what, in the end? Not a problemo. And then hand was for the element. Say what? Yeah, that one got a little, see, Mr. Wheel, that's where he likes to throw that humdinger in. And then tone on tone. Well, you know what? After just thinking about it for a hot minute, and thank you to the Chatterbox, of course, because they are certainly wonderful about coming up with ideas, not just Mary and the guest, but the Chatterbox, to be able to come up with all the awesome ideas that are out there. I'm telling you, they are fabulous. Well, I got thinking. I haven't used EJ Gnome. If you know, you know. This little gnome die set that I have that, a slightly oldie but goodie from Gina K and Thermoweb. Haven't used that one in quite a while. Thought I'd bring him back. But decorations. Well, people decorate for the summertime, and they can decorate with watermelons. Watermelons are red and green. What also is often red and green? Christmas decorations. So whether you go summer decorating or Christmas decorating, that's the color scheme that I went with. For tone on tone, again, back to the watermelon theme, I really liked the idea of how a watermelon rind is often 2 shades of green, give or take. So I was like, okay, we could use that for tone on tone. Well, I don't have a watermelon stencil in my stash, but that's okay. I fudged it just enough that I don't know that one might be able to tell. I'm just trying to glue these pieces together to fit on my card base, and I thought rather than doing it individually, I'd tape them from the back. So don't mind me here while I'm talking. But basically, I found a stencil in my stash that did these distressed lines, and I thought, well, that abstractedly, if that's a word, could make the watermelon rind. Probably should have tried to line them up so the cut line, but hey, no one's perfect. Once you get EJ on here, no one will know. And I thought, well, again, I don't have any watermelon in my stash, but I do have these Raindrop stencils. And I thought, well, that could somewhat resemble the watermelon seeds in a watermelon. What I did not realize until just now, this watermelon has tons of seeds. That's just crazy talk. But you live, you learn. I did them each on full pieces of paper and then cut them on a diagonal. So I have 2 extra pieces to make a second card. So that's always fun. For the green, I started out with a base green of Gina K's Jelly Bean Green with hints of Lucky Clover on top. Then when I put the stencil on top to do the lines, I thought I would do, again, some Lucky Clover and some grass green, but really I just stuck with the Lucky Clover, and because it made it a little darker upon itself, it gave that nice tone on tone feature. Now for this red, I didn't quite have a watermelon red in my stash, but I got dang pretty close. Simon Hurley's Bee Sting ink. Now this is the original one with the felt pad, and mine was still pretty juicy, so that ended up working out really well. And then I added in just a little bit of this Electropop Neon ink in Raging Red color. This is from Gina K. It's the Rena K Neon line. And I thought just that little bit of pop with that got me some watermelon red. So I really like that. I had a watermelon slice stamp in my set with a die. And so I did a little masking in order to get the rind and the watermelon for the inside. And little EJ Gnome is going to hold this in his hands as a way to say, thanks, a melon. So we'll be stamping that on the card too. So those are glued down, or at least temporarily adhered in the back so I can make sure to get my lines right. And I will go ahead and glue that down as such and build up my little EJ Gnome. He has a sparkly red hat, and let's not forget his sparkly green shoes. To bring in some of the colors I was already using, I did chose like a little black outfit that he might be wearing, but really that was just mainly a placeholder because I'm used to cutting that part out. By the time I put the piece of watermelon on him, you might not even really see the body, so I didn't think that that was too big of a deal. I got a little nose, and of course I got his teeny tiny little hands, and he's going to hold this big old slice of watermelon. Well, I'll glue these down, I'll give you a little listening music, and I'll come chat at you at the end for a perimeter check. Alright everybody, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the music, and let's do a quick little parameter check. Thank you card. I think the Thanks a Melon speaks for itself. I almost stamped it in some black, but I went for that grass green to kind of also tie in another parameter. And that way it stands out, but it's not over the top. Decorations, again, I'm going with either a summer or a Christmas type theme using the red and green. Hand, you can see little EJ Gnome's little tiny hands. And the tone on tone, I'm using with all the greens down below. Even his sparkly glitter shoes fall on the tone on tone page. I also put some green vellum behind Mr. EJ because I thought he just needed to stand out just that little bit, and placing him down just right on there needed a little something, but I wasn't quite sure I wanted to bring in anything else. So simple enough, easy enough to create more than one, because these little die cuts did not take up hardly anything at all, and I was able to use a lot of scraps on that, so that was pretty perfect for me. So check on the thank you card, check on the decoration colors, check on the hands, and check on tone. If you have any questions about the card or the products or Craft Roulette, do let me know. I'd be happy to help answer those for you. And until the next one, bye!